Hey class users, Chris Bro back. This time we're going to look in DIY reports how sub time periods work. Let's take a look. Okay, with DIY reports, typically we will go to Reports, Accountability, and Reports. And to find my template, I'm going to type DIY there. That just gives us the templates we'll probably want to look for. We're going for this DIY service client report. This is the template that you will most probably begin with because it covers both service and client information. Alright, so here it is. I'm just going to close this to give us a little bit more room. And to start with, we'll want a date range. I think we'll just go for, say, a couple of weeks back, maybe Sunday the 2nd to the Saturday the 8th. They've deliberately given us 7 full days, including weekends. Now you'd expect that not too many services would be created on the weekends. Alright, we're keeping date range as is, and we're going to go, say, with open date. Now, these two, we could choose custom fields, but in this case we actually won't need to. But I'm going to do show all dates, and that's important. I'm going to explain what that means in a moment. Alright, now over on this side we want to drag a couple of fields. The first thing we're going to do is go for number of service and drag it in the data items area here. That'll allow us to have a count of services. How do we do that again? We right click and show field list. You often have to drag this out. Hopefully we can get that fixed soon so you don't have to. And we're going to look for number of service, alphabetical order of course. There it is, number of client or number of service in this report. Anyway, we're dropping that in the data items and we can see now that we've got a count of 0. So that's going along. Now the next one, we'll just run service type in the rows. That's an easy kind of standard one. And I'm going to drop that in the drop row fields here. For the purposes of this report, that's the only one I need, but you might want to add more, and you can look at how grouping works in some of the other videos. But for now, we're just going to get the service type, and we've got our date range, and what we want now is the tricky bit. We want a sub time range. Now, we could choose just something like a week. And we can drag that in, and that'll come up as just a simple week. So we can run that now to show you what I mean. Okay, I didn't do funding category. I'm ticking all for the purposes of this report. Now we'll load the report and we'll see what we got. Alright, so simply, I'll close this just so we can see, you've got your types of services and the week that actually corresponds to the week that we've put in here, and it gives us all the figures. But what if we want all the breakdown of that into the different days? Well, we can easily do that by now dropping day in. So let's do that, show field list. Okay, next to it, it's important to understand that we've done it. We want it, the week is the first operator, and then underneath inside the week, you'll have the day. And because we've searched for that week, we now see that we have all the counts in place. We've got totals across the bottom per day, and then across this side we've got the totals of each service type. So that's how you do it. If we just did day by itself, it would actually only select a day, but this shows us the week. Now there's another thing I want to show you here. It just so happens that this, which is a Sunday, well, there's no services at all. That's the difference if we untick show all dates. So at the moment we've got 7 days because it's showing all dates. If we untick it and run again, remember there's nothing in that first column. Now we actually only get the 6 days that are actually covered. Now let's say it was a month broken up by a day, which you could also do. This means that you would not get a column for all the days in that month that no services were opened in that time. You'll only get the days where there are services. So there'll be holes in between everything. Now sometimes you just want that. Just give me the days where we've made services. But quite often you want the full, say, week or month, and in that case you just put show all dates. And it will give us including the empty columns as well, so you can see where you are and it's a little bit less confusing. Alright, that's what that does. Now what other options can we use up here? Well, we've got things like financial year, so you might, for example, want financial year by month, or calendar year. Obviously, financial year will start in January, calendar year will start in July. Month I've mentioned, so a typical one would be year to month. You wouldn't want to normally have year and then add day, because you'll end up with, depending on if you've ticked this or not, but if you have ticked this, it'll be 365 days. That's going to be a very wide report and not very practical. You can also do a quarter, so for a 3-month period, and we also see now the week or the day. So once you've built this report and it's working as you want it, as usual, you would save as, create a name that will match your centre's naming convention, so you can find it when you can want to search for your actual saved report. There are plenty of other options there that you could change this and break it down by various services. You may again want to just filter a particular service type and do things along those lines, or you may want to add a further breakdown down here, the service type by, say, funding category, etc. You can do all that. They're the options. So that's the recipe. Chris de Bro signing off.